I saw Tesla's 3-row Model YL in China. If you're not a very online car person, you probably are unfamiliar with the term malaise when it comes with respect to cars. Typically, it's defined as the time from the late 1970s to just before 1990, an era when American cars, specifically, were arguably at their lowest point in modern history for design, horsepower, and quality. Back then, there was a lot of blame to go around. New fuel economy and emissions regulations, new safety requirements messing with design, emerging technologies that weren't ready for prime time yet, and intensifying competition from Japanese automakers that quickly took the lead over the home team, take your pick. Now, we're seeing similar slip-ups happen in China. While Western brands were content to rest on their laurels, China's homegrown brands figured out how to make a damn good car. Non-Chinese brands are struggling, due in large part that their product tends to be old and uncompetitive. And I'd argue nothing embodies this more than China's new Tesla Model YL. This would be the new 3-row, larger version of the updated Model Y that was developed in China and for the Chinese market. It's not sold in the West, though it could come to Europe. In theory, this Tesla should click with Chinese buyers. There, many urban families have one car for multi-generational use. A car like this should be a good option when you have to drive the kids and the grandparents on the regular. But after seeing it for myself, I'm convinced that Tesla's losing its edge. Tesla Model YL. Seeing it in real life. While in China for Xpeng's AI Day, I had a bit of downtime. I learn a lot about that country I'm exploring on my own, watching and learning, rather than on a tightly curated media program. I feel comfortable and familiar enough with China now, so I took a few ride shares around Guangzhou and Beijing on a layover. I wanted to find out what Tesla's 3-row Model Y was like, since it seems to be important to reverse the brand's sinking global sales. I didn't get any on-the-road impressions, but sitting in a static model in a Chinese Tesla store revealed a product that feels lazy and uncompetitive, especially when there's more than half a dozen direct competitors, often in the same mall, vying harder for the dollars of Chinese buyers in search of 6 seats. To be fair to Tesla, the 3-row Model Y doesn't actually look too bad. Of course, this isn't the first 3-row Model Y. The first generation had an optional 3rd row, but the legroom and headroom for that old model were damn near unusable if you were the age of, say, 5. An unusable 3rd row is a non-starter in China, a market where interior space, legroom, and comfort are big draws for buyers. Because of that, Tesla added about 7 inches to the total length of the updated Model Y Juniper. 2 of those inches go to the wheelbase, while the other 5 are focused on the rear overhang. In profile, the standard Model Y and Model YL could be confused with each other unless you've seen them side by side, like in the showroom. The Model Y's longer D-pillar window and extra long rear windshield on its hatch door are the biggest giveaways. Inside, the Model YL trades the 2nd-row bench seat for 2 captain's chairs with pop-up armrests. If you've been in any USA market 3-row Model Y, then the seats themselves will look familiar. However, there's significantly more headroom and legroom compared to the shorter car on sale outside of China. But then things get kind of weird. For starters, like the 3rd row on the USA market Model Y, the cushion is low to the ground. The D-pillar window may be longer, but your head placement is still aligned with a big pillar blind spot, so don't expect much light in that 3rd row. Also, the longer rear windshield terminates right where the rear occupants' heads would be, so I'd probably wear a hat if you don't want the sun beating directly on your head. The hat can't be too tall though, because at 5'9" with more legs than torso, I was pushing the limit of headroom in the 3rd row. The rest of the Model YL's interior is about the same as the standard Model Y, for better or worse. There are surprisingly few creature comforts for any of the car's occupants. The 3rd row is the worst place to be, since it's a low-mounted seat surrounded by hard, dark plastic. And that's not the norm when you look at any other Chinese 3-row EV. Just across the hall, I sat in the Li Auto i8, a 3-row crossover that is the Tesla Model Y 3-row's direct rival. It's chock full of screens, including one that folds down from the ceiling. Even if screens aren't your jam, the i8's soft seats, upright roofline, and smooth plastics automatically make it a better place to be. The i8 isn't the only one either. The updated Neo ES8's diamond-tufted seats feel like it's aiming straight for the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, way above any sort of Tesla. Right now, China's been doing the heavy lifting with regard to Tesla's sales. The brand has seen better days globally, for a multitude of reasons. Yet, China has been largely insulated from Elon Musk's controversies. Buyers are still happily shelling out money for Model Ys. Or are they? Model Y sales in China have remained healthy, but if we look closer at the overall sales numbers, it doesn't seem like the Model YL has done much to move the needle in China. People are still buying Model Ys en masse, but the addition of the new model hasn't pushed sales up. More pressingly, cars like the Xiaomi YU7 are hitting hard. Just this past month, sales of the YU7 surpassed the Tesla Model Y for the first time. I've got seat time with both cars, and it isn't hard to see why. The YU7 feels lush, new and special. Every material in the YU7 is nice to use, and it's chock full of features, some software-based, some not. Whereas the Model Y is kind of just the same car as before, with a new face and a better ride. It's clear that China's market has moved past the ability for cars to get sales by simply coasting on brand reputation. The three-row Model Y feels like Tesla has fallen for the same trap as American brands did in the 1980s, selling stagnant models that aren't moving forward, taking brand equity and reputation for granted. We talk about it all the time. Chinese brands have proven that they know how to make an electric car. Source: reposted and summarized from Kevin Williams at insideevs.